Hello, BookTube. I'm just sitting here on the couch on an overcast day. This morning it was pouring rain. Most of the night it was pouring rain, but the rain seems to have moved off for now. But the rain is in the forecast, on or off. The rain is in the forecast for the next 5 or 6 days, without any single day in that forecast ever being able to say no, there's no chance. And it still feels that way. It's extremely humid, and it's an overcast day. And I've just been on this couch. Making videos when the spirit moves me, but also talking with little Frida and also reading and writing. Just a normal type thing. The ideal filming solution that I came up with from my tech apocalypse last week seems to be working, and it is the easiest one. That's the reason that I liked it the most. That's why it was my own favorite, is because it's the easiest one. It means that whenever I am struck with the idea to talk to you about something, I can just make a video without any preparation of any kind. And I know myself well enough to know that that will lead to, well, first of all, disastrously, it will lead to more videos. There's nothing you can do about that. You knew that when you married me. But I know myself well enough to know that I will just let ideas go if it's a big bother. And this is not. And earlier today, when I was making a few videos, talking to you, nattering on about one thing or another, we got some mail. We got a big package from Basic Books, but also a lot of other stuff. And I thought at the time there might be more mail. And I was right. More mail has occurred. So I thought this will be shorter, but I thought I would go through that with you. Starting with the answer to a question that I had last week. Last week I was showing you some periodicals, and I showed you a little thing that came in the mail from Architectural Digest. I recently resubscribed to Architectural Digest. I got a commission check that had no use for it whatsoever. It was just going to go a-begging. And since I'm an American, the idea of putting in a savings account was not going to happen. Instead, I decided that I would, just as a lark, say yes to every subscription offer that comes in the mail. Just write them a check without thinking about it. Don't hold it off. Don't wait. Don't think I maybe want this, but I don't want that. Unless it's something that I'm not interested in at all, like a car magazine, I would just subscribe. So I resubscribed to Architectural Digest, and I got something in the mail that was a little folded, stapled thing of celebrity houses. And I thought, it's been a while since I subscribed to Architectural Digest. Maybe this is what they've become. And I was wrong. I'm very happy to say that was just a special issue that they mailed me separate, because they did, in fact, send me the latest issue of the real magazine, the Squarebound magazine. I love reading through here. I just love it. I confess that most of the time I am baffled by the houses that I see, because they don't strike me as any place where I'd ever want to live. I mean, look at that. That looks like a museum. It doesn't look like a house. It doesn't look like a home. It doesn't look like anybody ever goes there and actually has fun of a night. How could you anyway, with every single move that you're making, fully visible to God, Mother, and country is anywhere around you? A wall of windows? Things like that just mystify me. Also, another thing that mystified me in this issue was this. A full-page color ad for a device that kills people. Like it was 1921 instead of 2021. But though the details that these photo spreads from these houses often mystify me. I mean, aesthetically, yes, that is beautiful, but does it look like a home? It doesn't strike me that way at all. When I look at a house like this, and all I can think about are the 10 or 11 underpaid and undocumented immigrants who are screamed at to keep all those plants hydrated. I don't think it's the owner of the house that does that. I think it's a full housekeeping staff. It just seems so airless, so antiseptic. And I love looking at them just for the fun of it, and to see what people are doing with their houses, what kind of combinations they're doing with their houses, what kind of living spaces they can have. But I often look in every issue for some place that does strike me as a home, as a place where I would never want a house. But if I did, it would be a tiny, tiny one. Not Matthew at Mayberry Book Club actually has a tiny house. Not one of those, because I need a working toilet. I don't want a toilet that I need to explain to my guests. But it'd have to be very, very small. And it seems to me like it'd be more bother than it's worth. Whereas, but I nevertheless like to look at the spreads in here and see whether or not anyone strikes me as someplace where I might like to take up a room under the stairs with Frida and just live. There was one article in here about a green-thumb British couple compliment their historic converted barn in Kent with modern-minded gardens that transform the familiar into the fantastic. And in this article, we get pictures of the gardens, but we are most certainly not invited inside the house, which is kind of refreshing. But I was wondering if maybe that would be it, if maybe that would be the whole of anything that would approach normal life in this issue. And then I got to the last article. The text is by Michael Boudreau. The photography is by Eric Piasecki. And it is called, the piece is called On the Waterfront. And it's about a big, rambling house on Lake Champlain in Vermont. And it struck pay dirt. It struck the bill. There is the house and all of the grounds. And there is a jetty, and you can just take a boat over to this little island, which has a sort of a plank of its own. And the house is amazing. It's old, and it's reconverted. I don't know if this tells me how old it is, but so many houses in Vermont are old, and I just love the look of this thing. Just the look of the place. It strikes me like maybe, okay, there's the house itself, and there is a bedroom. Look at that bedroom. You just walk out onto a porch. This strikes me as something that might have been cleaned up for Publishers Weekly, or Architectural Digest, but that is someplace where people could live, including, oddly enough, the servants' quarters have been converted into multiple guests. Look at that. 6 beds. So you could really cram some guests into this place. I loved reading about that house, and that saved the issue for me. So that was the periodical that we got. But there are also a couple of packages. I thought we'd go through those. Let's see what the mail is for today. To add to the pile that I already got. I don't know that any more is coming than just this. But let's see. Let's see what this first one is. Okay, this next one is a contemporary romance. It comes out on the 3rd of August. You can tell it's a contemporary romance because it has one of these, I guess by now, compulsory cartoon covers. This is by J.C. Lee, and it's called The Dating Game, The Dating Dare. And there we have the kind of cartoon cover that I'm talking about. If you're doing a certain kind of contemporary romance, it's going to look like this. I myself would prefer a little more variety, but what have we got here? With witty characters and heartrending romance, J.C. Lee, the author of A Sweet Mess, returns. In this book, where two people might just find out how hard it is to resist falling in love with the right person. No serious relationships. This is the one rule Tara Park made for herself, and it has been working swimmingly, thank you very much. But the occasional fling is fine, especially since she's busy with Weldon Brewery. But when Seth Kim, temptation personified, and her best friend's new brother-in-law walks into her life, Tara might be willing to bend her golden rule. But only for 4 dates. The 4 dates she agreed to after a few rounds of beer and a game of truth or dare. It'll be fun. No biggie. I think we all know how this is going to end. Seth Kim can't believe Tara agreed to his dating dare. He's leaving for a new job in Paris in a month, and a no-strings-attached fling seems like a nice little distraction for both. But their secret dates, while sweet and sexy, always hit roadblocks straight out of a romantic comedy. Thankfully, their non-dates and chance meetings are smoother, frequent, and heated. However, the more Seth sees of Tara, the less willing he is to let her go. And what was supposed to be a fun little game turns into something neither of them are ready for. Okay, well, that sounds completely adorable. Completely adorable. And the author lives in sunny California with her tall, dark, and handsome husband, 2 amazing boys with boundless energy, and a fluffy rescue whose cuteness is a major distraction. I have to presume the fluffy rescue is a dog. I have to hope so, anyway. But anyway, that is The Dating Dare. Sounds delightful. Comes out in early August, probably in the dog days of August, when we'll all be needing just such an escape. And then we have one other package, and then we'll be done. Take a look at this last one. Is this going to be more summary style reading or something more serious? Oh, no. Summary doesn't get any more summary than this. Okay, fantastic. All right, this comes out at the end of July. And this is A Vineyard Crossing by Gene Stone, who has done innumerable Vineyard books. Let's see here. This is blurbed by Booklist, Library Journal, and also the Vineyard Gazette. It says, "Lie down on the couch, put a pillow under your head, and enjoy the ride." It's just possible that was me. I've reviewed Gene Stone a couple of times. So this comes out at the end of July. It's the fourth entry in Gene Stone's beloved Vineyard series. In this book, 40-something Annie Sutton, a best-selling author, has been living in her adopted hometown, Martha's Vineyard, for nearly 2 years, and her life, like everything else on the island, seems picture-perfect. But when 2 unexpected guests arrive in the vineyard, she'll have to fight to preserve the fragile vessel she's found. Okay, so this follows Vineyard Summer, Vineyard Christmas, and Vineyard Morning. And this is Vineyard Crossing. Great. So this will be in every bookstore on the island. Martha's Vineyard, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, is a vacation resort off the coast of Massachusetts. It's an island. It's big. It's beautiful. It's lovely. I know it backwards and forwards. I have been there in all weathers and in all moods. And Martha's Vineyard also has a newspaper called the Vineyard Gazette, where I am the book reviewer. So I'll have to see if my editor wants a review of this thing. I noticed it did not come from the Vineyard Gazette, so maybe he doesn't. And partly I would understand that. No offense to Gene Stone. I'm sure she would understand when I say that these get increasingly difficult to review. Her Vineyard books get increasingly difficult to review because they're all of a formula. It's a very congenial formula, and she does it really, really well, but they almost verge into unreviewable territory, so we'll see. We'll see what goes on with this one. I'll certainly read it. I'll gobble it up. I love this author. Just love this author. So there you go. Those are our 2 books, 2 very summary books, A Vineyard Crossing and The Dating Dare. Both just, imagine both will be paperback originals. Yeah, they'll both be paperback originals around the $16 range. And just total escapist fare. Fine by me. Absolutely fine by me. So that plus Architectural Digest is our second mail haul of the day. There are 2 other items that are coming here today. I don't know that they count as mail, though. One is just a food delivery. And the other is going to be a little harder for me to explain to all of you. I don't want you to yell at me. Maybe I will do that mail. I'll just give you all a chance to yell at me anyway. I'm afraid I've been naughty. And I ordered something that I am the first to admit I absolutely should not have ordered. My own defense, I can say, I was flat on my back. I was feeling really, really crappy. I needed to pick me up. That's no excuse at all. If that package comes today, then I will open it on camera just because I deserve you to throw bricks at me. But in the meantime, if that comes today, we'll do that. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm going to wrap this up. So I will stop for now, but I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.